Breaking news today in Queens, New York. Second round, that's at 1 p.m. Eastern and 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN and ESPN2. Meanwhile, a federal judge let the air out of Deflategate Thursday, erasing New England quarterback Tom Brady's 4-game suspension. U.S. District Judge Richard Berman said NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell went too far in affirming punishment of the Super Bowl winning quarterback. The written decision frees Brady to prepare for the September 10th season opener against the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's in Foxborough. Shannon, let's start with you. What impact will this decision have on the Patriots season?
I think they're the favorite in the AFC. I mean, I think Rob Gronkowski is the second most dominant player in the National Football League behind J.J. Watt. He is spectacular. Julian Edelman has carved out his niche. He's Tom Brady's favorite guy. He's going to get 100 catches. Amendola, if he can stay on the field, you know, he get nicked up from time to time, but he's a solid receiver. The running game by committee is going to be Gray one week, it's going to be Blunt the next week. The thing that concerns me, the reason why they got really, really good is that they had two corners that could shut you down.
No question.
And Coach Belichick and Patricia could dial up different exotic looks and could really scheme you. They could really take things away from you because they were not worried. Darrelle Revis and Brandon Browner had the outsides locked down. Now, with those two guys missing, and you bring in Malcolm Butler, the Super Bowl hero, but he was a second, third corner. Now he's going to move to number one. Yep. And now your number 3, 4 corner is going to move to number 2. So now you got new guys coming in, and they're 5 and 6 guys. So the only thing concerns me, their defense, but they might struggle a little early. But if you know anything about a Coach Belichick team, as the season progresses, they progress. So I'm not worried about the Patriots. They're going to be what they normally are, 12-4, 13-3.
The irony of this question is I had already picked the Patriots to win the AFC and get to the Super Bowl even if Brady missed the first 4 games. Wow. So I think I better stick with that.
That's all in.
I think I'm okay.
You had a lot of confidence in Garoppolo, huh?
I thought they'd go 1-3 and Brady would come back on a terror of a mission. The way he played in 2007, remember, after Spygate?
Yes.
Now, he did have that guy, that Randy Moss guy. That helped. That helped. But they tore the league apart. They stepped on people's throats. You remember that they would run it up on people like crazy?
Don't be surprised if this repeats itself, because
I am looking for that, except I was looking for it in Game 5. Now I'm looking for it on opening night against those Pittsburgh Steelers. Brady has the widest disparity of split personality I think I've ever seen in an athlete, because off the field, which is what threw people a curve about his handling of this Deflategate publicly, where you kept saying, I don't think I'm a cheater. You know, that guy, that aw shucks guy, who works hard at giving little to nothing to the media. It's always, yeah, we did okay. We're going to try to do better next week. Then somebody else, when the switch gets flipped, Psycho Tom comes out on the field, and he's a madman. I've never seen a star quarterback play with more emotion during a game than Tom Brady does. Have you? Running to the end zone and headbutting Gronkowski?
Yes.
I mean, who would do that? He can get away with it because he's Tom Brady. People don't question it because he's been doing it so successfully for so long. It's not a form of rubbing it in or trash talking or taunting. It's just Brady being Brady. He's just excited about the touchdown pass he just threw. Well, that guy you're going to get times 10 because of what the commissioner attempted to do to him, which was to ruin his reputation, to taint his all-time legacy, right?
Yes.
So he's going to take it out on the field. And that's what he's kept telling his close friends, is that, hey, I don't want to speak about this publicly. I want to show people what I'm doing in court and then on the football field. I'm going to show my reaction.
Right.
So I think he will show it. Now, back to your points. All very good ones, by the way. My early fear is LaFell is hurt, and I'd tell you how hurt, but they never tell us how hurt, okay? so I don't know.
You don't really know.
Okay, Julian Edelman is hurt. He has some lower leg injury. I don't know what it is, but he hasn't been playing, and so I don't know what to trust and not to trust, which is why they went out and signed aging Reggie Wayne, who played a little bit the other night in the game and looked...
No, don't do that, Skip. He looked bad. Skip, last year he was walking in the routes. He can't run anymore.
I would agree with you. So I'm not counting on anything from him. And they signed that kid Brandon Gibson, and he got hurt and he went on IR, so he's gone. They cut Josh Boyce. So the receiving core is a little thin right now, except for the guy you talked about, I disagree with your J.J. Watt position, but that's for another day because we did that so hard yesterday. Yeah. But in this case, the second most dominant, you could argue, is the first most dominant, is Gronkowski. So if you got Gronk, you got a chance, right?
Yes.
Okay, but I'm not sure about the receiving core. Then across the football to the corner position. I always tell Molly, I watch preseason games for one reason and only one reason only, flashes.
Yeah.
I want to see flashes from Malcolm Butler, and I saw a whole bunch of them. He's a gifted kid.
Yes.
That play he made was not flukish. Maybe it was a 1,000,000,000 shot,
yeah.
the move that he made on that football, jumping that route on the goal line. It was the most shocking, obviously, Super Bowl play we've ever seen as far as ending a game.
Skip, you know what that play did for his confidence? It showed him that he belonged. I remember my first touchdown, I caught it against an All-Pro and Kevin Ross.
Wow.
From that moment on, I believed that I belonged in the National Football League. So he made that play in the Super Bowl.
To win the game.
He believes he's, in his mind,
yeah.
I can be Darrelle Revis. I can be Joe Hayden. I can be a top flight corner. Look at no other corner has ever made a play like that in the Super Bowl. I made that play. Moving forward, I would not be surprised if I see him rise up the ranks and be a top
I think he
corner.
will. I think he's going to give up some plays. I think he's going to make a lot of plays.
Yes.
So are they going to be Revis and Brown? No, they're not.
No.
Do they still have a pretty hellacious pass rush? Yes, they do. So I'm going to trust that. Mayo is back to kind of be the quarterback and the anchor in the middle of that defense. Safeties are pretty good. So they'll be good enough on defense. And I think when you have Brady and Gronkowski, you're going to be so explosive on offense. I probably should amend my record now. I could see 13-3.
But my thing is that when does Brady not go 12-4, 13-3, 14-2? Because that's just what they do. Now, the East has gotten better, Skip.
Has it?
If Tyrod Taylor can give them anything,
you're right.
I'm with you.
If he can give them anything, and with Sue in Miami, with Olivier Vernon and Cameron Wake and Cortland and Skip, they're going to be the deal with now. Now I don't know how Tannehill's got his money. Now he needs to show what Miami believes in him to pay him that contract. The Jets, I just don't trust Fitz. Because I've seen him, and he's got a lot of money in Buffalo, and then he was in Texas, and he was all over the place. But one thing, he'll flash, and then he'll disappear. Defensively,
he's not bad,
but
not good.
But he's been in the league 8-10 years, and he has yet to lead the team to the playoffs.
I got it. But I looked off the top of my head. He started like 54 games. He has a lot of experience.
But he's not over 500, Skip.
I got it.
But
I'm not making a case.
But defensively, everybody in that division has gotten better. I don't know if anybody's gotten any better offensively.
Okay, here's the point. Buffalo, and we were up there.
Yeah.
That's a loaded football team.
Ooh,
deep and loaded.
In all phases of the game.
The New York Jets, that's a loaded football team, especially on the defensive side.
Yes.
Loaded team, and Todd Bowles will do great things as a quasi-defensive coordinator. I mean, he's the head coach, but he can really coach defense. Miami, I give you Sue, and I'm not saying that's a loaded team, but it's a better team than it was a year ago.
The defense is legit.
Okay? Now, one team in that division has Tom Brady and nobody else does. Okay, so that's what it boils down to. I'm not a Ryan Tannehill guy. Not sold. You gave him your big money. You're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. How do you replace Ryan Tannehill? Can you do better than him? Well, maybe, but will he ever get you home? Will he get you to the promised land? No. That's my opinion.
And that's the thing that concerns me is that while these teams have gotten better defensively, and yeah, maybe they can slow Tom to a certain degree, but can they score? Can they score enough points?
Yep.
Because all it takes is Tom to get hot in one game, and he can light you up for 40 points.
I agree.
Can any of these other teams score that many points?
Okay. So here's my last point. We didn't bring him up because nobody cares except maybe me and some Patriot Nation fans. The other night in the preseason game, New England suffered a huge injury to a quote-unquote no-name player, but it was huge, to their fullback, James Devlin. He is gone for the year with a broken leg in a preseason game. It just tore me up watching it. Freakish, got turned around, snapped his whatever it was, tibia or whatever, broke his leg. He was a key blocker for the run game that obviously helped complement the greatness of Tom Brady. I think it's really going to hurt that run game because there's no obvious replacement for a guy like, you know how valuable those guys are. They're hard to find. I'm talking about that 250-pound bowling ball blocker who can also catch it out of the backfield.
There you go. There you go.
All right. It's a huge loss. And right now, if Tom Brady were sitting here, he'd say, I'm worried about that. We don't have that. So now the responsibility is heaped even more on the shoulder pads of number 12. They might have to throw the football a little more than they want because they don't have the blocking back.
I never really worry about the Patriots as long as 12 is under center. When he leaves, I'm going to be extremely worried. But as long as he's there, if you're a Patriots fan or a Patriots player, you should sleep really well at night knowing 12's got our back.
Yeah, there were quarterback questions top to bottom in that AFC East division, but no longer with the New England Patriots because Tom Brady will be playing Week 1. That is Thursday when they host the Steelers. Speaking of that, after the break, our NFL analyst Mark Schlereth will join us to discuss this Deflategate business.